All right, welcome to the Podcasting Dead as we look over Season 8, Episode 15, called Worth. I'm Justin, he's JP. How you doing today, JP?
Oh, Lord, what a great episode last night, right? I stayed up till 2 o'clock trying to watch it. I mean, not trying to watch it. You know, I get off work super late, so yeah, I'm a little wound up. I did not sleep, but I've been thinking about The Walking Dead so much.
A lot to think about. I feel like the last episode we kind of were left with some questions. This episode, we got some answers.
Oh, I got so many answers, wrapped up so many loose ends, so much revelation. Whew, I feel like a tent revival preacher.
I love your enthusiasm, quite frankly.
Well,
I want to see more of it.
I love your beard.
Thank you. I've put a lot of work into it. I'm glad someone appreciates it. All right, so starting off, kind of moving from the beginning, we're going to try and stay in order here. Let's talk about the note that Rick got from Carl. We heard it actually read in Chandler Riggs' voice, too, which just made it all that more heartbreaking.
I know. We've been trying to piece it together ever since we got a glimpse of it. But yeah, it was nice to finally hear it, you know.
JP has some theories as to how Carl may still be alive, which we might do on another podcast.
Yes, I do, actually. Very valid points. I know you've ridiculed me in the past for certain theories and beliefs.
He's dead, dude. It's time to let it go.
Look, man. There's a lot of things at play. You understand?
Oh, is that your mobster voice? Is that what we're going to do there?
No, I was channeling Riley Martin. Any Stern fans out there, or just straight up Riley Martin fans, will understand.
Okay. Kind of having a snack here, so sorry if you can hear me chewing. It's very early in the morning, and I've not yet ate. And when I don't eat, I get very scatterbrained. So, very heartbreaking little story. It's kind of cool because one thing that one critique Matt had, which is fair, was that when I was saying the kind of parts that I had seen of the letter, one of them was talking about walks when they were 3, and, Matt's like, wouldn't remember those, but Carl talks about remembering being told about those walks, and like you've mentioned, kind of a fabricated memory.
Sometimes, you hear something so long that you manufacture your own memory.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, manufactured memory. Very heartbreaking. And do you think that this spoke to Rick? Do you think this is going to change the way he's going to look at the Negan conflict?
I kind of wish he had have read it before he got all murdery, with the saviors in that building. I think some of them might have, proved to have been an asset.
You need all the soldiers you can get when you're facing such a large army, But yeah, a lot of people weren't happy with that, with the whole him slaughtering those saviors after. I guess it's just because we felt like at the end of the day, even though we knew Rick could be completely savage, we had hoped that he was still like a man of his word. Right. I mean, it's an honorable guy, even though he's savage, and that scene kind of shattered all of that.
Yeah, which don't get me wrong, it was great television. I mean, that was a powerful scene.
No,
but,
absolutely.
Yeah, as a character, I wish he had read that letter. So
some folks were wondering moving forward where Gregory was after the hilltop break. People were like, did he stay behind? Did he run? Where's Gregory? We find a little weasel ran straight to the damn sanctuary.
He did.
And got body slammed by Simon, which was really cool. But
yeah.
He kind of manned up there for a minute.
I was going to say, man, he finally, he does have some worth. I mean, he kept that community, running. I mean, he's like you said, he's a weasel, and he does, kind of pressure women into having sex with them for, favors and status and stuff. So,
which is kind of what Negan does, but Negan's just more, just suave about it, I guess.
Yeah, and smart enough not to try it with Maggie Ree.
Right.
Gregory was not that smart.
No. He's a weasel. I think that a good leader can find where everyone has some benefit and use them to that, but at the same time, I still think I would just go Simon's route and just take Gregory out. I just don't know that I could ever trust him. He does have some worth. But I don't know, man. He's just a weasel. I mean, he's one of those people you just, he's going to advise you and help you, but damn well from day one he's already scheming on how maybe he can weasel that spot from you.
I think as far as the Hilltop in Alexandria or any other community, Gregory is not needed whatsoever. But Simon, at that point in time, he probably needs a little help figuring out how to actually organize everything. I mean, being a leader is more than just, murdering people.
Those that oppose.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Simon definitely could have used.
Yeah, you're right. I think,
Gregory.
As anyone else, Gregory should be dead. But Simon actually probably does need the help because he's much more along the lines of the governor. He reacts off of emotion more so than, as we've seen this episode, and we'll get to Negan's ability to brilliantly strategize. Right. Brilliant strategizing. And so we finally get a glimpse at Aaron. We were making jokes of it, but it makes sense. He's dehydrated. He's hungry. He's been out there for a while. But did you notice every time he killed a walker or did anything, he fell immediately afterwards, which I'm sure was to push the point of how just in bad a shape he is. But it just got kind of comical. But so it's and the Oceanside people are just kind of the group of people I just don't really care about. I mean, I know that sounds bad, but I don't care.
That Tara Oceanside episode, I know I'm in the minority here, but man, I love.
You were in a very, very small minority, man. That episode sucked.
No, stop it.
But I think that we're gonna have an Aaron. Oceanside Knights of the Vale. Any Game of Thrones fans know what I'm talking about, where they kind of come riding in at the last minute when things look bleak. And the Oceanside's going to come in and put a dent on the Saviors and kind of swing, turn the tide of the battle. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Aaron's going to sort of be the little finger in the scenario, just less, backstabbing and Weasley and more gay.
Right?
I don't guess Littlefinger was gay.
He was a little feminine, but he was very about some Sansa.
Yeah. Which Sansa was definitely sort of like a pawn in his
big game. He seemed to really love Catelyn Stark.
Yeah, he was in love with her. So yeah, I don't know. His sexuality, we'll save that for another podcast.
Right. But I'm thinking that's what's going to come of that. I mean, otherwise it would just be pointless. That whole thing would have been just ridiculous. But speaking of Oceanside, a little light was shed on their massacre.
Yeah, apparently Mr. Simon, put them to bed. Oh, at the men, at least. I don't think he's actually tucking the women into bed. But, yeah, he apparently slaughtered the men and the boys.
And, but it was what? Everyone, boys and men ages 10 and up, right, is what killed. And when I remember when we heard that didn't sound like Negan. Now, the Hilltop made sense because Negan, they killed one guy, which to kill a 16-year-old is kind of...
Yeah, I mean, who's to say that wasn't Simon as well? Do we really know that for sure?
I think that was Negan because that was more of Negan's format. They came out, they took one kid, and they beat him to death with a baseball bat, and that was it, which is, Negan's strategy there. But I think Simon was solely... Because I remember hearing that thinking, wow, he didn't do that with anybody else, but I just wasn't enjoying that episode, so I really didn't pay that much attention. But now we know, okay, that was Simon. So this thing's happened before. And which is an interesting question that we'll get to here in a minute I have for you. But moving on to Rosita and Daryl.
Ooh-wee. Am I the only one who is ready to see Daryl get that butt, man? What kind of power couple would that be?
Daryl, get that butt.
Get that butt.
Is that the new slogan? We should get that on T-shirts. Like the podcasting dad, and under it say, Daryl, get that butt. Get that butt.
Daryl ain't got no butt since the world went to hell.
I mean, you don't know what he does in his personal time.
I mean, that's
Other
true.
than brooding and not showering, I mean, he might be getting him some booty somewhere.
I don't know, man.
Daryl don't call back.
I mean, they're spending all this one-on-one time together. All I'm saying is, Daryl, get that butt.
I mean, they'd be an interesting couple. They'd be a power couple for sure.
Yeah.
But so we see Eugene kind of once again filling at home, and he discovers that Gabriel's been kind of sabotaging the bullet operation there and trying to make Gabriel was, obviously just trying to make the rounds not fire and didn't realize the way he was setting them, they were going to explode, And I feel bad for Gabriel at the moment. I was really starting to like his character. Now he's like, I guess, still half blind and... He's
definitely not in the best shape, that's for sure.
His faith has been shaken. He really thought that God was sending him on a mission, and then just had that whole illusion shattered right.
Yeah,
right in front of him.
Talk about an episode I didn't enjoy. That's really the one part of the season where I was just like, right.
Yeah. I remember you not really enjoying that whole divine intervention thing.
I didn't mention this the other day. Dr. Carson. Do you know his background, the actor? He used to work for a radio station right down the road from us.
Really?
KZL.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, he was actually on their morning show just a few
Dr.
weeks ago.
Carson, the one that got killed with Gabriel, or the one in the fire?
No, the one that got killed with Gabriel, yeah.
Wow, that's...
For KZL, yeah.
What?
It's true.
I haven't been told. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was on their morning show not too long ago.
We might have to see if we can use some connections there, maybe get an interview.
Let's do it.
Let's make it work.
Yeah.
I had emailed a couple of agents a while back, knowing at the time we only had like a couple of hundred subscribers. I was like, there's no way they're going to let us interview, but I mean, it's worth a shot. Yeah, you never know which one might be like, not really look at your view count and just go, another interview. Yeah, what's the number? But an interesting turn of events. So we have Eugene kind of running things as he's been doing, and then he throws up.
Yeah, well, if I'd have eaten that sardine
garlic
cheesy thing, yeah.
But so here's the question from the whole Eugene, Rosita, and Daryl situation.
Here's the debate, yes.
Do you think that Eugene is now, because one could argue the whole point of that was to establish two completely different things. One, argue, which I'm kind of in favor of at this point, is that basically he saw, like, there's no future for me with Rick and his group no more. You know, I mean, Rosita tells him, we're going to put you in a hole and we're just going to use your brain to get things done. Yep. You'll live, but you're not going to have a life. And he's taken prisoner by his former allies, which it's it's reasonable. He's betrayed them. And, back at the sanctuary, he tells Rosita, he's like, I thought they were going to kill me. I thought they were going to torture me, all of these things, but they didn't. Negan made him a lieutenant and has given him his own outpost and basically let him live about as lavish of a lifestyle as you can in the zombie apocalypse.
He's got video games, yeah.
All right. And pickles. Did I mention the pickles?
Yeah. He could be having sex with Negan's wives if he so chose.
Well, not that Negan would approve of.
But didn't he say you could, do whatever
he said want? He could look. He couldn't touch.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I thought he gave him
He gave Dwight permission to hook up with, with his wife at one point, but kind of a blast from the past. It was a funny scene. If his penis still worked. That was right after Eugene had bit his penis. So full circle here as we get back to Eugene. So the argument is, do you think that this just dug Eugene into Team Negan even more? Or do you think that Rosita got to him and he's going to still pull something out to help our group?
I think that last line he said as he sits down at the little assembly line is, what did he say? It's time for us to do something useful with our pathetic lives.
Right.
I think that was his little nod to Rosita. All right, I'm going to do what Father Gabriel was doing. I'm going to sabotage these bullets, and so otherwise Rick's getting led into wholesale slaughter.
That could be. My only problem with that is, how is he going to make that work? I mean, he just called Father Gabriel out for making the bullets that way. Mm-hmm. It'd be different if he kind of discovered it and was like, pulled him away privately and, but I mean, he's told everyone now that, hey, this is not how you make bullets. This was what will happen. Yeah. Yada, yada, yada. So my only problem with that theory, I would still love to see Eugene do something great, but that's my problem with that theory is, now, how is he going to pull it off?
I think he's gonna MacGyver it, man. I think he's gonna sabotage the bullets, and he probably is still trying to get Rosita's butt. So
Daryl and Eugene, you think, are in the runnings? I mean, there was
a lot of times Eugene was watching Abraham and Rosita go at it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that image is probably still fresh in his mind.
You like to watch? Yes. No. Yeah. What was that? He got asked a while back. You like to watch? Yes. No. So that's a good question for you, the listener. In the comments section, tell us, do you think Eugene is full-on Team Negan or no? I think Eugene is going to pull something out to help our heroes here.
And who, if anybody, is going to get that butt?
JP just wants it so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. I mean, they both did. They went from taking him prisoner and, Daryl had his moment of putting his knife in his face, like, hey, I'll cut your tongue out. Shut up. Mm-hmm. Then Rosita, of course, had to kind of calm him down. Then Rosita puts a gun under his chin. So he sees that they're both not playing. And then especially after he hides in that ash, which, by the way, excellent hiding spot.
Yeah, no kidding.
And he hears Rosita say, if you see him put a bullet in his head, we can't risk him getting back. So he knows, like, his friends are out for his blood now, especially now that he's gotten away. Next time they see him, they probably won't try to take him prisoner.
Probably not.
Just try to kill him.
Man, if it had have been me, like, Rosita and Daryl really should have brought a team of like 5 guys in there, just hit crew style and taken that bullet complex.
Yeah, definitely not destroy the machines.
Yeah,
because ultimately, yes, you'd rather destroy them than risk the enemy having them. But at the same time, imagine how useful that place could be for you if you won this war.
Yeah, get all those bullets. I mean, I realize they probably didn't know exactly how many people were in that place. They just wanted in and out, right. Extract Eugene, and that's it.
We're going to run in there, kill everybody, and then we're going to lock the doors so Negan can't get back in.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it probably would have been smarter, I guess, with the two of them, though, and both of them. Rosita's been trained by like guys she's been on the road with, and Abraham, and then Daryl's very combat ready through his experiences. So I guess the two of them together probably were just such a stealthy team. They figured it'd be easier to get 2 in and out of there faster than a group. But you're right, they definitely could have
Yeah.
But then that means Father Gabriel would have accidentally gotten killed. And I just finally started feeling for Father Gabriel.
No.
But, so going to be interesting to see where that goes. So let us know in the comments section. Eugene, Team Negan, secretly Team Rick. We'll find out. And the answer to the Negan's mystery passenger has been answered.
Yes, it was Barcode herself.
Yeah, Laura. So Dwight was built up this entire episode. It's just it further shows how manipulative and I guess smart Negan is. I mean, he knew this whole time. And he said at the end of last episode, he's like, I've got a few surprises that I'm ready for. And the whole Simon thing, after that happened, did you think that it was going to come to light that Dwight was going to be, exposed this episode?
I didn't think it was going to happen this episode, no. I mean, I assumed, like the rest of us, that she was who Negan picked up, but I don't know. You know how he likes to drag stuff out and really rub your nose in it when you least expect it.
And that's the difference between Simon and Negan as in their leadership. I'm not going to necessarily, I still think Negan would be a better leader than Simon, as we saw last night. But Negan has the ability to find out something that probably infuriates him, but he can still keep his composure and think clear enough to make something happen.
Right.
And surprise everyone and plan, whereas we see Simon as much more of an emotionally driven character. He gets angry, kill them all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And something interesting I read, Simon Ogg actually didn't know that going into playing this character, that he was a psychopath, that he had murdered all these people. Like, he kind of found out, towards this final end, what he was really all about, which is interesting.
I wonder if he would have played him different.
Yeah.
If he had have known he was going to become an unhinged psycho. Well, that he always was, but that it was going to come to light that he was an unhinged psycho.
One thing you can't take away from old Simon is he had a way with words. Great vocabulary.
Oh, yeah. I like the character. Yep. I mean, it sucks to see him go. I do like the way they did it. I thought that fight, you got to beat the man to be the man.
Oh, man. You think they threw that in there because it was WrestleMania Sunday?
It could. Hey, it's a good observation. I don't really watch wrestling, so I don't know, but that's a good point.
It's been a long time since I've kept up with it. When Linda McMahon started getting into politics, it got much more family friendly, and just who's trying to watch that?
Right, family friendliness. Yeah, this is a podcast about zombies.
Some bra and panty matches. Come on, get out of here
and get that butt.
That's right. Hello.
But so now moving forward, let's talk about the whole. Not Dwight, sorry. Simon. So many names.
Too many names.
I'm as bad with names in real life. So if we ever do meet any of you listeners and I don't remember your name, please don't think I'm being mean. I forget my friends' names half the time. My mom's terrible. She'll call me my sister's name, and I'm like, I'm a boy.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I guess I get it honest.
Name's not my area.
No, I'll never forget your face, but your name, that's a different story. But moving to the Simon exposure, man, how slick was that scene? Just the whole time I thought, number one, man, they're brave to be having this meeting out in the open, broad daylight, with Negan back in the compound. I mean, I was just like kind of like if you used to smoke in the school bathroom and you just kind of were like, oh God, a teacher's going to walk in, walk in. I feel like that's the way I felt watching this scene. I'm like, oh God, he's going to come out the door, and then he came out from behind the dumpster, and it was pretty awesome.
Yep.
Like deer caught in headlights, man, when he came out. And it's so slick how earlier he had told Dwight, put that cigarette out right there.
Yeah.
And he does it, and he's like, remember that. And that's pretty much where he stood, and I guess that was to keep him out of the line of fire.
I was surprised how many lieutenants Simon had on his side by that point. It did not take long for him to flip all of Negan's crew.
No, he really did. He was able to get a large portion of, the people. A lot bigger than I thought. I thought it was going to be him, Dwight, Gregory, and like maybe another person or two.
Right,
right. I was told, I'm here because I was told there were going to be donuts.
Yeah.
I don't really care about overthrowing Negan. Just give me the donuts.
Yep.
Maybe some orange juice. I thought I was going to get a free condo. But if you've ever been on one of them timeshare things, that's. But so it was really interesting to see how that played out. I loved it. I was very tense and just a very well done scene, I thought.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
And now moving forward from that, what did you think of the Negan-Simon fight?
I thought it was good, man. If I was Simon, I definitely, with my life on the line, would have pulled out all the stops.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like biting, groin stuff.
First thing I'd have went for would have been a nut shot on Negan. Instead of that backhand and then turn around and boop.
Yeah.
But we finally get to see, we've seen him scrap before, yes, but never like this. This was finally, because, and I won't spoil the comics, but there is a crucial scene from the comics that may be coming up next episode where Negan demonstrates like fighting ability and just kind of like raw strength. And it was great to finally see that, okay, he didn't just get to the top of the food chain by being a smooth talker and so charismatic. He can actually beat your ass too.
Yeah, just
crush your windpipe.
Yeah, he took him.
But yeah, I kind of thought back to the Rick and Shane fight on this one for some reason. It just kind of felt familiar in a good way. Like it felt familiar, just that the two best friends going.
Blows, yeah.
Good fight. I was thinking the whole time, man, Dwight has more writing on this than Negan, and his life is in danger because God help Dwight if Simon wins this and then Dwight's still there.
And little does Dwight know that he's screwed either way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that Gregory even went back to the hilltop. I don't know that I would have even trusted him to,
Oh, no.
Especially with Negan winning. I mean, I know Gregory had failed Negan, but I feel like Gregory would have more of a chance of swaying Negan at this point to keep him alive than Simon. I mean, Simon pretty much,
Yeah, I mean, Gregory knows he goes back to the hilltop. He's living in that pig pen or whatever, I mean, Negan would probably put him up pretty nice.
Which he does. We go back and see that he's in the fence. But it just furthering Negan's brilliant plan that I did not see coming, honestly.
If I was Dwight, as soon as I'd got that Matt, man, I would have split. I'm not into this whole double agent thing, man. I'd have been a nervous wreck.
As soon as that match started, I'd have used that to just like sneak out and be out of there. But moving forward, then after that, I'm trying to say I had an outline here and I kind of lost it. So I was going in order perfectly, and now I'm like, crap, where are we at? But going from that, we see obviously Negan kill Simon, and Simon was a interesting walker, I would say, kind of just going crazy there at the beginning.
Maybe it's because the windpipe was so mangled, he couldn't really have any nice zombie moans.
He was ready to eat.
Yeah, man, he's just hungry.
The hood off. He's just like, dude, give me some freaking food. Yep. But like moving forward from that, we already talked about the whole Oceanside thing.
We got Michonne's communique.
Yeah, Michonne, I think, again, I have started watching Fear the Walking Dead, which if you are a subscriber of this channel, you might remember we actually tried to cover that show. And by the mid-season finale of season 2, at least Matt and myself had gotten so bored. I was just like, dude, I don't even really feel like keeping an eye. It's a chore to watch it, which with The Walking Dead, it's not. I look forward to it when, 8:50 rolls around. I'm like, all right, quiet on the set. Everyone sit down, find AMC. With that, I just kind of was like, man, I have to go watch this show. But now that Morgan is moving to it. And yes, I do feel, as a commenter said, I am getting kind of tired of the Morgan's crazy. No, he's not. He's crazy. He's psycho. He's normal. Life's precious. He's crazy again. But with that said, I still love the character. Yeah, I love Morgan.
It reminds me of drug addiction. I have people in my life who are on drugs and can go months and be the most pleasant, normal person you ever know. And then it's like someone flips a switch and right back into being a drug-addled maniac. So that's
against
kind of the parallel I draw.
And going against myself on that one, even saying that I'm kind of tired of the back and forth. I mean, that is real life. When you have issues like that, it's not one thing happens and, oh boy, I'm going to live this way, and life goes on happily ever after. People that have issues tend to sometimes, relapse into these issues. So, I mean, it would make sense that Morgan's going back and forth, but I love Morgan. I love the character. The actor Lenny James, I think, is one of the best on set. I think he's just like Matt said about Andrew Lincoln, with Lenny James, same way. You can look at his face. He doesn't have to say anything, and you can just see what's going. It's like he becomes the character. He's feeling the emotion that I really like Lenny James as an actor. So being he's going to Fear, I want to watch it and keep up with what he's doing, but I didn't want to just start in season 4 and not know what's going on. So I have started watching it, and I'm not going to lie. I'm halfway through season 3 now, and I was pleasantly proven wrong.
Good stuff, right?
I feel like the second half of season 2 was okay. Once we got into season 3, I found myself really, really interested in the story. Some really good character development. You understand why characters tick the way they do, why they do the things that they do. It's a really good character study. Not quite as much action, I feel, as The Walking Dead, and that's just my opinion, but I do feel like I enjoy it. I feel like for the first time, Fear the Walking Dead will hold me over while Walking Dead is off the air.
I'm stoked to podcast about it.
Me too. And we will have a Fear the Walking Dead podcast starting back up next Monday. So I'll be looking at that. But moving forward, I got sidetracked there. I just wanted to throw in for those that love the show. Hey, I'm with you. I'm back on Fear and loving it. Really interested to see where season 4 is going to go. but I'm still on the ranch. So, but anyways, so we move forward from that, and Michonne talks to Negan, and we see the whole point of that. I thought was brilliant. Like, we see that Negan he's done. He's done playing. Mm-hmm. He's done trying to, in his mind, save them. It's just extermination at this point. I mean, it's funny because he was mad at Simon for that, but ultimately he's taken Simon's route.
Yeah. So it seems he's just scorched earth.
Here's a good question for you. Do you feel that Negan would have came to that decision had he have not had the bad day that he had? Like, let's say he got back to the hilltop, there was no insurrection, didn't find out that Dwight was betraying him to Rick, and just thought business was usual. How do you feel like he still would have had a governor kill them all attitude, or it might have been different?
I think after what Simon did, it was inevitable. Yeah.
They just kind of just moved him to, okay, this isn't working. You know what I'm saying? It's time to just clean house of everyone that opposes me.
Yeah, I think if Negan had showed up at the hilltop instead of Simon, I think it would have been a whole different outcome. I think it just would have been a standoff, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, that would have infected some people.
Which is crazy because his plan, even though it was a fake plan, was actually a pretty decent plan. Like, starve them out pretty much. You know, keep them surrounded. You see if anyone show face, you just let them constantly know that they've got no way out. You know, they're either going to die within and, start dying off or whatnot, or they're going to surrender.
I think that's probably initially what he had planned anyway. We'll infect them, put some scare into them. If they don't fold after that, we'll just, starve them out. They pop their head out. We're going to hit it like a whack-a-mole.
Yeah, and so it's, but man, how brilliant. I love that. I love that we saw Negan's ability to still plan, even though he's going through things that would infuriate most people. You know, Simon probably would have handled it by just walking in there and killing whoever, or pulling them out in front of people and making an example and killing them. Whereas Negan was like, no, let's have a little fun with this.
Yeah.
Kind of like getting into his psychology, like with Dwight, the whole episode, I'm thinking it can't be this cutting. Like, it can't be going this good for Dwight. And then Negan's like, you're my new right-hand man. I'm thinking, Dwight, it's not true. Tell him you got to pee or something and you'll be back, and just get the hell out of there.
Yeah, he should have split way before that happened.
On the way out, if someone's like, where are you going? I'm Negan's right hand. Can't ask me. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I do what I want. I do what I want.
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to think of the order here, if there's anything we've left out going into this episode. Like I said, lots of kind of unanswered questions answered. Things were resolved this episode. I really enjoyed this episode in general. And with that, let's go ahead and rate it before we do our Minute with Matt.
Okay.
What are we going to call that? Minute with Matt? Matt's Minute? Minute Matt?
All good choices.
Okay. All right, let me get yours here. Let's see. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Flip them over. We both gave it 4 out of 5 stars.
How do you like that? I really couldn't find much to gripe about.
No, it was a good episode. I've really been digging the back half of the season.
Mm-hmm. Same here. The only one, like I said, I really wasn't super into was Gabriel's whole, Jesus take the wheel kind of thing.
Right.
I was just like, oh, all right.
I will say, going into this final episode, I better see Jesus kick some ass, man. Where has he been? I mean, we saw him pin a zombie against the wall when they stabbed, and then we kind of saw him out in the yard, but I mean, Jesus has had next to no role in this half of the season, and he's such a good character in the comics. I've told you for a while he was my favorite character in the comics.
Yeah,
I love him, and now in the show he's just kind of taking a back seat. And I really do hope that, because I mean, the thing about Jesus is he's a badass.
He is.
He's arguably the best hand-to-hand combatant in the zombie apocalypse in the comics. I mean, he's just, I say hand-to-hand, but he does a lot of kicks and stuff. But I mean, he's just a badass, and we've only got to see that once maybe when he fought Morgan, in which case he was holding back. This episode, I want to see Jesus take the wheel.
It's been criminal, however underutilized he's been.
I want to see Jesus just kicking some serious ass here. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes as we go. And what do you want to see? In the comments section, tell us what you want out of this finale, because they say the war will be ending. They say that this is it. This is the conclusion. They're setting up for next season. What do you want to see? Andrew Lincoln has described, which they always describe it good, but he's described it as, and I'm paraphrasing because this might not be a direct quote, but he said something like extraordinary or amazing. Like they're saying this finale is just the cream of the crop right now. So what do you want to see? Tell us in the comments section what it is you want out of it.
Guys, we're giving you guys a lot of homework.
Yeah.
You know?
And death predictions. We would sit here all day if we tried to think of them, because honestly, they've strayed so far from the comics that I really don't know. I feel like a rat might die. I don't know about Dwight. I don't know if he's going to make it out or not. I feel like he probably will survive, but
the only thing that really comes into my mind is maybe Carol's death is part of what spurs Morgan to, hit the road.
I'll agree with that. Carol or Henry.
Okay, yeah.
Carol or Henry. And that'll kind of like send Morgan to the point where he's like, I got to go off. Like, I'm getting people killed, or he'll feel responsible for the deaths. Or maybe if Carol dies, he'll take that as, like her believing in him, and he'll try to go off and start anew as she thought he could do.
So we'll see.
So let us know in the comment section also your death predictions. So we're going to have a lot of long comments.
Yeah.
Which we enjoy reading your comments, so please.
What kind of game is Eugene playing?
Right.
Do you want to see Daryl get that butt when it comes to Rosita? I know I do. I would like a very long, steamy, Cinemax-esque, scene between them.
So basically softcore porn.
No. Well.
That's late night Cinemax, buddy. I saw it once when I was 8.
Boy. Yeah, I missed. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then let us know what you want out of the finale, like what you want to see. And finally, death predictions. Who do you think is going to go? And if you've got some reasoning behind it, throw that in there. Again, we love the comment section. We've been fortunate enough that we've started getting, we used to reply to each and every comment, but that was back when we would get like 5 or 6 comments. I mean, now when you get, over 100 to hundreds, it's really hard. I feel like we'd have to do like separate podcasts just for that. But we'll definitely try to get a few of your comments from the comment section and address them after we've seen the finale, of which we might be going to theaters to see, and we might do a live podcast on the way there. So just watch our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe.
Survival Sunday, it's like 30 minutes of bonus footage. Then you get the finale of Walking Dead. Then you get the premiere of Fear.
Oh, it's going to be an awesome night.
Check out Fandango. Maybe it's playing somewhere near you.
We are not going to feel like going to work at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I know. We've got like an hour to drive just to get there. So,
but so that might be happening. So we'll see. Keep a watch on our channel. But now I think it's time to let's call Matty D. What do you think?
It's up to you.
You think he's going to like this episode?
Well, what he gave last week, I had to split early last week.
Right.
He gave it a 2?
A 2 3/4, 2
Are you sure?
quarter.
He knows it's a 5-point scale, right? It's not like a 3-point scale.
He could be confused. We'll address that. But let's call Matt and see what he did or did not like about this episode. Any predictions?
Yeah, I'm sure he loved it.
It probably was his favorite.
Probably.
It's time for Matt's Minute. A minute with Matt. Minute Matt.
Ooh, I like that.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Oh, hey, how's it going, buddy?
Doing good. Say hello to our listeners.
Oh, hello, listeners. Are they all in the studio right now?
They are. This was a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea. Not a lot of elbow room.
It smells. But that might be one of us,
That's
not the listeners.
JP. I was going to say it's probably JP. Hi, JP.
Oh, hello.
So, Matt, how much did you love this episode?
I don't like the way you're leading me into that question. That sounds like you're leading me into that.
Yeah, because it was.
It was good. It was a good episode. It was good.
Like it better than some of the last few?
I liked it better than the last episode, but I didn't like it as much as the episode before that. Does that make sense?
Oh, it's kind of like The Middle Child.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
It was I feel like that episode, a couple episodes, I don't know, all these episodes of The Middle Child. No offense to middle children. That is a major put down on middle children everywhere, so I apologize to that. No, I just, I'm glad, hate to see him go, but love to watch him get his windpipe crushed.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a satisfying little.
Let's see. What else? I find it funny how Rosita's been through so much and seen and experienced so much shit, but we draw the line at vomit.
Yeah. I think if anything, it kind of just took her by surprise. Like,
did it was mac and cheese and sardines. So
it's one of the first times someone's been attacked with vomit.
I was calling it tuna, but you're right. It was sardines.
It was
even
sardines.
Grosser, even grosser.
Yeah, that was
garlic and sardines.
So, and then what was the other thing? Daryl and Rosita. You had one job.
Right.
One job. I'm starting to like Eugene less and less just because of what he's doing. I'm still holding out that he's playing the long con.
So you're still JP is too. Jay, we were discussing that before we called you. So you still feel like maybe he's got something up his sleeve.
Still playing it. Yeah, man.
Well, with me, I didn't think he was playing it. I think Rosita kind of turned the tide for him. I think he was in Negan's camp, but now he's kind of rethinking things.
Like maybe Rosita got to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do for the greater good,
Or, you're just a coward like Eugene, so you just got to do what you got to survive.
All right, let's calm your tits a little bit, all right?
Oh, but...
let's see, was there anything else that I took from this episode? Yeah, not a bad episode. I would like to... I don't think that the all-out war is going to happen. I don't think the war is going to end this season.
You don't think so?
Oh, no.
No, I think it's going to spill over into next season. I feel like
they're going to wrap. I think I read somewhere that they said yes, the all-out wars will end at the end of this season, and they actually are going to set up for next season. However, they're going to do that. I don't know.
I hope they don't lie. I'm
pretty sure that's what
optimistic as you.
I'm pretty sure that's what the preview said. Like at the end of this one was like it will end, but you could be right. They could be like, oh well, we kind of ended it. And not really end it.
That's what they'll say, and then they'll have to talk about it also. Well, you know what? We'll get to that. I don't want to. I'm trying to stay positive.
God, do you think they'll leave us on some kind of cliffhanger this end of this season?
What's that?
Do you think they'll leave us on some kind of cliffhanger at the end of the season?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Yes. 100%.
It's going to be
that's what they do, man.
If I'm thinking comic, and comic readers will know what I'm talking about, but if they leave us on there, I do see one way they could leave it on a cliffhanger, which would suck for comic viewers because we know how it plays out. But let's just say, I don't want to spoil it, but because if you're reading the comics, that's such a pivotal point. But anyways, I'll bring it up after that episode is come and gone. But yeah, so you think that they definitely will probably leave us on some kind of cliffhanger?
Yes, definitely.
And Matt, what would you rate this episode? JP has come to the conclusion that you got confused, so I need to clear this up for you. Apparently, you think that we're using a 3-star rating scale, and no, JP wants me to tell you, no, we're using a 5-star, so you can start giving them the ratings that they deserve.
All right. I want you to tell JP. All right, you tell him that I said that. No, but I know it's a 5-star rating.
Oh,
I stand by my ratings, JP.
No, there must have been some confusion. I'm convinced of that.
He just can't accept it.
2 stars last week. 2 stars. Come on, stop it.
2 1/4.
Just stop.
2
Just stop it.
So this week though, what's between 1/4 and 1/2? Is that like a third?
Maybe I'd have to get a ruler.
I feel like we may be dealing narcotics right now.
An eighth, maybe.
Oh man, do you want to have a level inside of it that's you can pretend it's like a sword?
You have to take. Man, I should know this. I was an electrician. I had to measure stuff all the time, but I don't know. You could go with eighths.
Sure. Let's say a 6. Let's say 1/8, 4th. Oh, it feels like we're doing drugs.
Yeah,
you want an 1/8? You want a 4th? Don't trust a drug dealer that offers you a 4th. You want to buy a 4th of weed? Yeah.
A 5th of marijuana.
Whatever's between 1/4 and 1/2, so like 3 1/3 stars, I guess. It was a good. I mean, it was good. It was
He got closer to us than he normally
know
does.
How I am. I don't know what it's going to take for them to like make me go, oh my god, guys, 5 freaking stars.
When that day comes, I don't want to waste the time making it because I know that it probably will never happen, but I really need to make some kind of big sound effect for if you ever gave it 5 stars.
Well, can we just chop that up and have Matt saying, guys, 5 freaking stars?
I could do that.
Let me give you a sample. Here you go, real quick. Right, here we go. 5 freaking stars.
Ding, 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 ding.
Boom.
Oh, my God. Explosions.
You recorded that and everything. You're recording this whole thing, so that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a setup. Last night. Last night inspired us.
You have to have both parties' permission and consent to record in this state.
Did you find the reveal of Negan knowing that Dwight was betraying him as well?
The other thing. Whoever called that it was Laura, congratulations to you. I would not have guessed that.
Yep. Barcode. Yeah, I thought you and I were talking off mic last week, Matt, about the psychology of Negan and how he we were talking about how sometimes he likes to build people up just to slam them down. And I think last night was a great example of that, just getting Dwight's head full of, Negan has no clue. And man, I'm really working my way in. And then, oh, shit, everything I've done wrong is coming back around.
And I'm looking forward to seeing like unhinged Negan.
Yeah, he's on a warpath now, which one could argue he was before, but then he just wanted to scare people. Now he wants to straight up murder people. So.
It was right. It was like there was a method to his madness before, but I feel like now he's just done. He's just like whatever.
Yep, he's like, I'm gonna kill them all. That ain't how Negan talks at all. Thank you. You lie. Stop it.
Well, I'm sorry. You're right.
Well, Matt, we appreciate you joining us, House Pop, this morning.
Oh, he's doing great. He's getting around without his cane, man. He's moved up. It's like that riddle of the Sphinx. He moved from like 4 legs to 3 legs to 2 legs or whatever it is.
If he complains, just show him a picture of Herschel and be like, Dad, you've got it better than this guy did.
Oh my God! Hopefully, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. Show him a picture of beheaded Herschel and be like, Dad, you're not gonna do much complaining now, are you?
Oh well, Matt. We hope you have a good one, man. Give Pops our regards, and we'll talk to you soon.
Will do. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. All right, well, Matty D, he seemed more impressed with this episode than he has in the last couple.
I think maybe he just had a better breakfast this morning. I think maybe so. The last couple mornings, or the last couple weeks, maybe he's just, been a little hungry, a little cranky. He's dealing with his
does
papa.
Affect my mood quite a bit.
It's true.
So,
I mean, there's no way you could hate on the last couple episodes. Come on.
I've been, I've been very, very, I feel kind of like we're a few seasons back to where it's just like when you never know what's going to happen and there's surprises. And the last couple of episodes have had me at the edge of my seat, which is something I really don't feel like I've truly experienced since like the season 6 finale 7 premiere. And
I've been pleased.
Even then it's kind of bbeen spotty before that. So
I've been pleased.
Very on the edge of my seat. So Negan is ready for war. I think that wraps it up. I think we covered most everything, right?
I think we rounded the bases.
Yeah, and Eugene's surprise vomit is probably my highlight of the episode. Just like, what the hell? Very Bo Ride show for anyone that's ever played Mortal Kombat. He's a character that throws up on the ground because he is drunk all the time, and you trip up in his vomit, and he beats you up.
Huh.
Maybe that was the problem. If Eugene would have done it at her feet, she would have done those hilarious Mortal Kombat slip-ups, fail, and, But, yeah, so let us know in the comment section all that we've talked about. We love hearing from you, and we'd love to get discussions going. You guys are awesome. To all of our subscribers, thank you so much for sticking with us from day one when we started with 0 subscribers.
Yeah, we did start with 0, didn't we?
We did.
Good place to start, though.
And now we're moving up. We're hoping to see 3,000 by the end of the season, and we definitely plan to continue to do things in the breaks. We got comic podcasts that we've started doing. We do the Walking Dead comic, and when Oblivion Song 2 comes out, we're going to kind of do a summary podcast of 1 and 2, and then we'll continue regularly with the series as it comes out.
We're jumping on that. We're putting together like a Batcast, talking about different Batman stuff. I don't read every Batman title, but
it's hard to keep up with all of them. There's so many.
Yeah, true. And I mean, there's Batman movie news. We like Batman.
Yeah,
you like Batman.
Favorites.
We're going to talk about Batman.
One of my favorites.
Batcast.
Boom.
Yeah.
Cut, print, love it. But yeah, I think that's it for this episode. Great episode. I think this was more of a setup episode. It was answering questions, but setting up. And I think that I'm fingers crossed. I think next week's going to blow us away. I think it's going to be. We were really happy with the season 7 finale, which was just kind of a mini battle. It was a lot of build up, and then it was we thought it was a great battle. I feel like this is going to just be awesome.
You're right, man. I'm ready to get blown right there beside you.
Take that how you want it. So that's going to wrap it up for this podcast. Thanks to Matty D for phoning in with us. I know he's a busy man, but we appreciate his input. JP, thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Everything. Why does everything sound so sexual this morning?
I don't know.
Ever since that butt comment, it just went down that sexual slope.
Man, I'm just telling you what I want, That's what I want.
I'm going to try and hook you up with some of my girlfriend's friends. How about that?
No, I'm talking about just strictly voyeur kind of stuff. I don't like to touch.
Okay. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. Once again, my name is Justin. Thank you so much. We're the Podcasting Dead, and we will see you next time.